Okay, let's see. I want to make sure that this is actually streaming. I'm just going to wait a second here. In the meantime, we'll see if anyone is joining me live. Yeah, let's see. I hear myself in the background. That's not good. Okay. We are live. Yay. I am so excited to be here with you this morning. How is everybody? How are we feeling? I'm going to take a sip of my water before we even begin because I didn't do that before I began. It's the Real You Rebellion. I am so pumped. I cannot wait to share all the juicy details with you today. It's been a little while since we've done an event, and it's the first time that I've done an event this way. So we're going to play with this format and see how it feels. So welcome everyone, whether you are here live or on the replay. I am so excited to share with you today. But before we jump into the meat and the bones of today's event, I really want to just go over a couple of things to make sure that we are set up for incredible success. So you're going to want your human design chart for parts of today's conversation. And I'm going to pop a link into the chat for you so that you can grab that really easily if you don't have it already, although I'm pretty sure that most of you in my world have a copy. Also, if you wanted to share a copy of your, oh my goodness, your chart with me today, then I will send you a little energy tip at some point today or tomorrow to as a thank you for being here and just give you a little bit of love. So I've dropped the link to get your human design chart if you don't have it already into the comments for you for easy peasy access. And I did want to say that we are streaming live to YouTube. That's what's going to be happening for all my events going forward, just to make it easy, honestly. Some events will stay public and others will close. This is one that will close eventually. I don't know when the date of that will be. My sacral will tell me. I'll put some options in front of my sacral and it will tell me when we're complete, but it will be up for at least the rest of this week. So if you don't see it all today, if you don't have time to watch it all in one sitting, then it is here for you to catch on the replay. Grab a notebook, grab a pen, grab some water. We're sharing lots of gold today. And I really want you to notice what comes up for you as we go through today's experience. This isn't just a teachy preachy kind of thing. I'm not even preaching. I don't consider myself teaching either, for that matter. I am sharing, and you are getting the opportunity to notice what comes up for you as we go through this. And it's really important to notice the sensations, the feelings, the thoughts that are really coming up for you throughout this. It really does highlight what is happening within your body, even if you don't understand what it means. Just being able to tune into this feels uncomfortable. I am feeling contraction, or this is exciting, this is expansive. Like noticing what is coming up for you is a real indicator of what needs your attention right now. And so I really would like for you to notice that as we go through today's experience, just have an awareness of what's coming up and through for you today. Ask questions, comment in the chat as we go along. As a 4/6 sacral generator, I love to respond. If I don't get to your question during the live, there will be a Q&A at the end, and we can also chat privately after we're done if you prefer. I love having conversations. Don't ever have to be afraid to pop into my DMs. I'll let you know what I'm available for and whether or not we need to schedule something more in depth for you, but please don't be afraid to ask questions. This is what this is about. This is for you. This experience is for you. Really let this information land in your body. It isn't meant to be a mind experience. It's designed to connect you more deeply to you, to your body, to your values, to who you are. That's what today is all about. So move around and dance and carry me around with you if you're on your phone. There are no rules with how you engage. So have fun with this. I'm super excited. I'm just going to go ahead and mute my watch because I just did have a notification come through and I don't want to be distracted for you today. I will take several breaks myself to take sips of water. I can feel myself parched already. I had bacon for breakfast, so that could be part of it. All right. So, and I will check periodically to see if there's anyone in the room with us. All right. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Pam, and I am a 4/6 sacral generator, intuitive life coach, and energy activator. Here to help you thrive even in the face of life's most difficult challenges. I know a lot about challenges. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at age 30, endometriosis at 35, although I've had it my entire adult life, chronic migraines at age 25. And so pain, I know a lot about pain. I know a lot about illness. I know a lot about living out of alignment with who you truly are. I know how hard it is to get through daily activities when you aren't feeling your best. And so, whether you are dealing with chronic illness, with pain, with stress, with overwhelm, with anxiety, or whether you just have this soul deep knowing that there's more available to you than what you're experiencing right now, you are in the right place. The Real You Rebellion is a live, body led experience for women just like you who are exhausted from forcing consistency and living under constant pressure. This experience is an invitation to release that pressure, to restore your energy, and to really remember that rest is not a reward. It is the foundation to everything you have ever wanted. How many of you have ever felt like you kind of need to earn your rest? I mean, I've said it. I've said it myself. I've earned this time. I've earned this break. I've earned, you don't need to earn it. And in fact, it's super important that you're listening to the cycle and rhythms of your body to make sure that you are fully resourced and able to handle everything that comes your way with this real ease and grace. So today is a real grounded, real life approach to human design, where you're going to learn more about your unique energy, your rhythms, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the root center, why burnout and flare-ups aren't the result of what you are doing, and how to begin trusting your body again. And we're doing this in really tangible, sustainable ways. You're going to walk away with actual things you can do today to help you feel incredible right here, right now. This is human design for real life, real bodies, real energy, designed to help you move with your energy and create a rhythm that actually sticks. Who's excited? I am so excited. This is meant to be an unlearning of the things that you've learned thus far. And we'll dig into that a little bit further as we go along. It's a permission slip, not that you freaking need one. You don't need one, but sometimes you feel like you do. So let this be that moment for you. It's an exhale. It's a moment for you to take a breath and to be in this moment. And it's a reclamation of the trust that you've always been meant to have in yourself. What if your body already knows how to heal, how to stabilize, how to sustain you? What if that's true? Because it is true, and because it does. No, you already know. Every question that you have, you already have the answer to. Your success has nothing to do with becoming more motivated, more disciplined, more consistent. It's not what it's about. You don't need more affirmations, more journaling prompts, more identity work. Who the hell is tired of the identity work? Me. Just so me. I think identity work is for a very specific kind of person. It's not for everyone. And sometimes it's very valuable, don't get me wrong. But it's not what changes your life long term. It can help you make changes, but it's not what sustains you. You're not going to be doing identity work for the rest of your life. And who wants that? Like, you have things to do, things to accomplish, people to be with. You don't want to be spending all this time delving deep on yourself and personal development, and spending all this time with journaling and affirmations and meditations. And you have a life to live. You have things to do, things to accomplish. And so I'm here to really help you understand that you aren't crashing because you're doing too much. You're crashing because you're not doing what's meant for you. You're living someone else's life, playing by someone else's rules, doing more, moving faster, and then realizing, whoops, I've done too much, and then slowing down and resting. Who's used to that cycle? Who's used to being either balls to the wall or completely dead? Like, there's no in between, right? No matter what lane you choose, nothing seems to stick and nothing seems to change. The midday crashes keep creeping up. The flares keep showing up out of nowhere, even though you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing. You're moving your body and you're eating well and you're getting lots of sleep, and somehow you're still in the midst of a flare. And you just feel this deep sense of dissatisfaction, knowing there's way more to life than this. You're done with the cycle of eat, sleep, work, repeat, of feeling like your time is not your own, that you have to completely sacrifice again and again and again to get where you want to go. You're not burning out because you lack discipline or motivation or consistency. You're burning out because you've been betraying who you are. And I don't want that to cause any amount of shame for you. I want you to notice how that lands in your body. Does it contract? Does it feel uncomfortable? Does it feel like, oh shit? Is there a silent, yes, but that feels really crappy? We're about to help you understand that it doesn't need to feel crappy. You can notice without it meaning anything about you. And we're going to talk about what you really need and what you really need to bring into your day-to-day experience to have long-term sustainable success that sticks. Ready? You need to know who you are at the soul deep level. You need to know what you value. You need to be clear on what matters to you. You really want to implement standards to support you, particularly for those days when life feels like a little too much. We're keeping it simple, sustainable, something you can do quickly, easily, every single day that helps you stay connected to who you really are. Leaning on small, subtle shifts that align to you, your body, your unique energy, creating momentum in your day-to-day. Those small wins add up to big results. It doesn't feel like much is happening in the moment, except you're more at peace, except you're more joyful, except you are having more success. In the moment, it's really subtle. But when you look back, you're like, holy crap, look how far I've come just by making these small tweaks. And the best news is that those shifts can start right here, right now, today. Excited? I'm excited. All right, we're going to dig into some human design here now. So what's your type? Put it into the chat or send me a message if you're watching this after the replay. I'm not sure how YouTube works for comments. I think you can make comments in there. I'll have to find it. If I'm asking you to engage, I'll need to make sure that I'm engaging back with you. But so tell me what your type is. I would love to know, are you a manifester, a generator, a manifesting generator, a projector, a reflector? And we're going to talk a little bit about all of these types because we all have an important role to play in the bigger picture. And knowing that we're all different, that we all experience life differently, and that we're all meant to move differently really helps you understand yourself and others better, because we're not all the same. And so that's why following the advice of your friend or your sister or your, the guru on Facebook might not be the best for you, because it needs to honor who you are, who you've always been designed to be. Human design is a science of the aura. It's how you're meant to move and interact in the world. And so if you're interacting using someone else's operating system, things just aren't going to run as smoothly for you. So we're going to talk about each of these types really quickly, and then we're going to move into some more juicy details. So manifestors, you are the catalysts, the change makers. You get these incredible ideas and you move when the urge strikes you. Here to initiate and inform, bringing your fabulous ideas into reality to serve the collective, showing us how to be in the world in a really fun and meaningful way. It's truly magic. Generators, you are the creators, the life force energy, bringing ideas into reality by responding to what's happening around you. What lights you up? Here to help others follow their desires and truly dance through life. Such a beautiful energy. Manifesting generators. You have this incredible energy. You're social butterflies moving from one thing to another, depending on what excites you, really fast moving and meant to inform once you receive the response on what really excites you and lights you up. Projectors. You see the bigger picture. You're here to guide. You're very wise. You're here to improve and tweak what already exists to make the world's experience more joyful and fulfilling. You're designed to go really deep, to be seen as the authority, and to be invited to share that guidance and perspective with others. Reflectors. You have no defined centers, so you feel the energy of others very deeply, which is an incredible gift. You're here to sample other people's energy, to see what feels really good for you and make changes where necessary. You reflect back how we're doing as a society and show us where we can make changes. So beautiful. And you may relate to more than one of these types. Even so, if you're a manifestor, you might relate to being a projector. That's totally common. We all have parts of the chart within all of us. So, like, for instance, my conscious sun, which is my life's work, really has a very projector-like energy, even though I'm a generator. So there's such nuance to you. You're not just one thing. You're not just your type, but your type is super important, and getting really up close and personal with that and understanding what that means for you and how it feels to you is super valuable in helping you live a life that really lights you up every single day. So you are all designed to move in a very specific way. And when you're not honoring that, everything feels harder. You're pushing through when you're meant to rest. You're forcing when you're meant to flow. You're trying to plan your way to success. Where are my plan girls? The ones who have like a full aligned action plan for the entire year. I'm chuckling a little bit because I do. I just did one up. But I did it because I was excited about it, because I was lit up about it, because I was feeling this gate 41 energy that we just left, which is the gate of creativity and imagination and new beginnings and transformation. So it was a response it came from my response, which we're going to talk about. That's my strategy. We're going to talk about that shortly here. But you're not meant to plan your way to success. That was never part of your ultimate God-given plan why you're here on this earth. You're here for a very specific reason. And when you try to pressure yourself to be someone you're not, when you try to put yourself into someone else's box, when you try to follow someone else's plan, you really feel the effects of that. And it shows up in the form of chronic migraines or endometriosis or stress, overwhelm, pain. This is how it shows up. It always comes back to who you are choosing to be. So, based on your type, everything we just discussed, this is where I would recommend you begin to start stepping into the fullness of who you are, to start connecting more deeply to your body, to your purpose, based on your type, your strategy, your signature, and your not self themes. We're keeping this so simple. You don't need to know what any of these words mean. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. We're going to dig into it, and we're keeping it so simple because, quite honestly, life is complicated enough. Take some more water. You're feeling the complication of life right now, right? The heaviness, the stress, the collective fear that is surrounding us. It's so important for you to be able to ground deeply into who you are at this time in particular, when there's so much fear, when there's so much stress, when there's so much overwhelm, even if it's not your own stress, your own overwhelm, your own fear, you're feeling it from others right now. You can't help but feel it. Who's feeling it? Put your hands up down below if you are feeling it. It's a dumpster fire right now. The world is a bit of a dumpster fire. So being able to anchor back into who you truly are and not allow yourself to be swayed by all those outside forces, and to really be able to be like, no, I'm not going to get distracted by this. I'm going to anchor into my body, and to be able to lead yourself through whatever comes your way in a way that empowers you and moves you forward. That's how we change the world. That is how you change the world. You being in your energy, you feeling lit up and excited and energized, you being able to move through challenges with ease is a gift to everyone who surrounds you, and that ripples out. You being anchored and grounded into who you are ripples out to everyone in your life, and it helps bring calm to them, to their experience, helps them become more who they are. It's a gift. It's such a gift for you and everyone else in your life. So we're going to start with manifestors. Manifestors, because they initiate. So I start with manifestors always, because they initiate and they are here to born the great ideas into the world. And so you are here to use your beautiful voice. You have something to say. It is more important than ever that you fucking say it. Say the damn thing. Got it? I know you don't like me to tell you what to do, but say the damn thing and move with your urges. Those urges, like, you know what I'm talking about. As a manifestor, you feel that urge to go, to move, to initiate, to inform, to do the damn thing. You just feel it's a full body response that you can't help but listen to. You move with that urge. You are meant to move with that urge. And you're meant to rest in between those cycles. And this is where manifestors struggle the most, is in the rest cycle, because you're surrounded by sacral energy. I mean, 70% of the world has sacral energy, but that's generators and manifesting generators. So you're surrounded by sacral energy, and you can feel this pressure to move with that energy, but you're not meant to move like anyone else. You are meant to move like you, and that rest cycle is super important for you to be getting the urges in the first place. If you feel like you're not getting the urge, you're not getting it because you're not allowing your body to rest. You need to have the rest cycle in order to have the energy to move with the urge when it hits you. Because when it hits, you could be going for days, for hours. It can very much look like hustle, but it isn't if it is aligned and if you are moving with that urge. And how you know it's aligned is if it feels peaceful. If this feels like I am at peace with this, I love this, this is exciting, this is fun, that is how you know that the urge is aligned for you. Plus, it's just this full body response. You just feel it. Your strategy is to initiate and inform. So you move with that urge when it strikes, you initiate things into existence, and you let people know that you are doing it. I know you may not always want to do this informing piece because you're like, no, I just want to do the damn thing. But the informing piece helps you stay at peace. Like, this is super important. You need to let people know what you need in order for them to be able to understand, because your energy is so different than everybody else's. Not everybody gets it. So take a moment and be like, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm doing. I'm not asking for anything. I just need you to let me be here in this space. Just let people know what you're doing. And that will erase so much conflict by you being able to stay in that initiation mode by just informing people of what's happening. And inform people when you've created and born something, share the shit out of that. Here, there, and everywhere. Use your voice. Your voice is your superpower. And how you know that you're out of alignment is through your not self, and that is anger for manifestors. If you're angry, you are not yourself. And that is not to beat yourself up with. It's not to shame yourself with. It's just to notice. And if I'm feeling angry, okay, this is my not self showing up. What's happening? Where am I feeling it? How can I bring myself back to peace? It gets to be this simple. We don't need to make it any more complicated than that. There is depth that we can go to, but you don't need to. It gets to be that simple. How's that feel? Manifestors, does it feel like you? Let me know. All right, moving on to projectors. Projectors, you have to recognize your own authority. You want to own your spaces, and you want to be the guide. And so your strategy is to really recognize yourself, to go deep on you first. And this can feel a little counterintuitive because you want to serve and you want to guide others. But in order for other people to recognize you as the authority, because you know you're the authority, you already know this, you know you have answers, you know you have ways to guide people, you know, like, it's instinctive. It's such a beautiful energy. But in order for it to be received well by someone else, you have to be invited to share with others. Now, that is not to say that you don't say anything ever. This is, you choose to invite, you choose to share with people who are open to hearing what you have to say. So this is simple as, can I offer you some advice? Or can I offer you a reflection? Or can I say something? And just like allowing them to give you that permission, because otherwise it feels intrusive. Your aura goes really deep into others. It's very penetrating. So when you are, if you haven't gotten permission to penetrate, that's intrusive, right? And so it's making sure that everyone feels comfortable. And the way that you get invited more often to share what you know is by recognizing your own fucking magic. And the way that you do that is by really going deep with yourself and sharing widely and unapologetically in the spaces where you have been invited. Like, make sure to share what the fuck you know. Don't keep it all inside. Share what you know. Tell people what you know, but make sure you're doing it in spaces where you have been invited, or create spaces where you get to own your fucking authority, because it's beautiful and it's magical and it will change lives. But you have to wait for that invitation and to go deep on yourself to feel comfortable with that. So it's this beautiful dance where you get to really take care of yourself. And how you know you are living life in alignment is that you feel this grounded feeling of success. Like, I am doing what I'm meant to do. I'm moving in ways that feel really good. I'm taking care of myself. I am sharing what I know with others. It's this feeling of success. Yes, I am doing what I meant to do. And how you know you're not yourself is if you're feeling bitterness, resentment. And again, it's not about shaming yourself for feeling that way. That is part of your design. You're meant to feel that way. It is your indicator that you are out of alignment, that you are not yourself. And let's what can I do in this next moment that's going to bring me back to feeling that success? Does that make sense? How does that feel to you? All right, generators. Play. Oh my gosh, play. Play in your life. It isn't meant to be so serious. You are literally here to show people how to dance through life. Let your fun flag fly. Like, really embrace what is fun and joyful and exciting and energizing. You are life force energy. You are the embodiment of life force energy. And I know you might not always feel that way. Trust me, I thought I was a terrible generator. When I found out I was a generator, I'm like, oh God, I'm a really bad one, because I'm not energized and I'm not always joyful and I'm not always super fun. It isn't meant, you get to feel the feels and to have emotions and to feel however it is you feel. Your strategy is to respond to what's happening outside of you. And so this is the part that sometimes people are like, I don't get it because all the answers are in me. Yes, but it comes through the response. So you're feeling the response. So, for example, my best posts are always, oh, something just came up in my, that's fine. It's totally fine, not a big deal. Sorry, I'm like distracted now. The response, that's what I was saying. Wow, it's amazing how quickly I got distracted. Okay, so the response is what is something that you feel in your body. It's your sacral, and it's this feeling, or this yes, or this go, or this, it's binary, yes or no, this or that. So, for example, when you're trying to decide what you want to eat, like, the worst question you can ask a generator is, what do you want for supper? Fuck, I don't know. Like, there's nothing comes with that. There's no response to that, because it has to be, do you want macaroni and cheese or do you want steak? Like, that is what you need. And you need, your sacral needs the ability to respond to that. So you need to put options in front of your sacral and to move to what excites you and to notice what is a yes and to notice what is a no. It literally is the most beautiful, sorry, I'm having some kind of response here. Ooh, itchy. Anyway, not sure what's happening. Let me take a second. It's beautiful. it really, you're designed to respond to what's happening to decide what you do next. So your life is a moment to moment experience. That's why like big plans and these huge, oh dear. So my recording was stopped. I'm going to take a second. Sorry for those of you who are watching this. All right, I've started it again. I want it to save, so I need to make sure that I have it. Okay. Real life. Tell me how you know. I muted myself too. Okay. Hopefully all is well now. Back again. Okay. Response. You're here to respond, and it's a moment to moment experience. And how you know that you're living in alignment is that you feel deep satisfaction. There's this satisfaction in your life, and you feel satisfied by what you're doing moment to moment. How you know you're not yourself, you're frustrated. When you're frustrated, when you're annoyed, you can literally find yourself saying, I'm so freaking frustrated. That is a sign that you are not in alignment. And so it's your invitation to come back to, okay, what's going to be most satisfying in the next moment, and to allow yourself to play with that. And you're here to play and experiment and to find what fits. Like, and that can change. One day you might feel like doing, so like rigid routines don't always work for generators. Like, you want to be able to play and to experiment and to see what feels good from moment to moment. Many gens, you are very similar to generators in terms of the response. And you also have the informing piece of the manifester, because you're a manifesting generator, which means you're this beautiful mix of a manifester and a generator together. So you are here to respond, and when you get excited, you move, and then you inform people what's happening, because again, you can move fast. It can feel very discombobulating to the people who are around you. You can be here, there, and everywhere. You can pivot really quickly. You'll be going one direction and then you'll take off in another. Generators are kind of like a freight train. They kind of go down one track, but manifesting generators are just like here, there, and everywhere, like a jet ski, flipping all over the place. So you're here to pivot and play and follow your joy, to respond and inform, and to really follow that juicy response, and to not beat yourself up for changing tacks and changing tracks. And it doesn't make you flaky, doesn't make you a quitter. It makes you fun, and it helps people see how they can pivot for themselves, how you don't have to continuously go in one direction because you've committed to doing so. No, you get to show us how to play, and how joyful it is to change direction. And how you know that you're living in alignment is that you feel this deep satisfaction and peace with everything that you're doing. And if you're feeling frustrated or angry, then that means you're out of alignment. And let's switch back to what brings me satisfaction, what brings me peace. Put options in front of that sacral to help you decide which direction to go. But it's such a beautiful, playful, exciting energy to be around. And finally, reflectors. So you move at your own pace. You're beating to your own drum. You're not rushing. You're finding your own way and your own type of consistency through the lunar cycle. You're very attuned to the moon, to these different cycles of the moon. You move with the lunar cycle. That is your strategy, and that is what you're here to follow. So it can be tough to be in a world of manifestors, manifesting generators who are just kind of moving fast and making decisions. And that's not how you're meant to move. You are meant to go much slower, to take more time for yourself, to immerse yourself more in nature, to really notice how you're feeling at different parts of the cycle, and noticing what feels most like me. Like, what part of me, what part of this cycle do I feel most like me? And trying different things on for size, and noticing what fits and noticing what doesn't, and allowing yourself to find your own rhythm. It's a beautiful experiment that you get to play with. And your signature is surprise. So when life is surprising and delighting you, you know you are in a beautiful place. When you're feeling disappointment, that is when you know you're not yourself. And so it's that invitation again to come back to what can I do in this next moment to bring some surprise and delight into my life. It gets to be this simple, guys. It really does. This the like being in tune with your type, with your strategy, with your signature, with your not self. If that's all you do, you will be winning. You will feel so different because you'll be able to understand that what you're feeling is just energy. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't need to mean anything deep or dark or scary about you. I remember when I started doing this work, I was so stressed because I was so afraid of what I was going to uncover because I knew I had trauma. I mean, we all have trauma. I mean, trauma just occurs. Well, not just, I shouldn't say that because I don't want to invalidate your trauma. But trauma occurs when you have found yourself in a situation where you didn't know how to deal with what was happening. That's where trauma comes from. And so then it lives in your body and it affects you because it lives in your body. So I was deeply afraid because I knew I had trauma. I was deeply afraid when I did this work that I was going to uncover all this shit. And I was like, I don't have the capacity to deal with all this. I'm already struggling. I don't have the capacity to deal with this. This is what makes human design such a magical tool because nothing means anything unless you decide it does. And you can go as deep or as not deep as you want in the moment. And your body will allow you to, will show you what you have the capacity to deal with from moment to moment. And so if you're feeling angry, then you find a way to bring yourself back to peace. And that's not bypassing, that's realigning to who you truly are again and again. The thing with trauma is that it will continue to show its face until you decide to break the pattern. But you don't need to make it difficult. Like, let's make it easy to get some wins in our day to day and then go deeper over time. Like, it's like peeling back an onion. You don't need to slice right through the middle. Let's peel it back layer by layer by layer. Because I promise you, even if you slice it down the middle with a knife and popped out the middle portion, you're not going to understand what that feels like because you haven't, and you don't have the capacity to hold on to that because you haven't gone through the unraveling, the unremembering, the peeling back. There's such beauty in the peeling back layer by layer, and it makes the experience a lot more gentle rather than having this moment of, holy fuck, I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. And I had that moment. I had that moment where I was so stripped back that I was like, I don't even know where to go from here. Like, and it was terrifying and it was uncomfortable. And of course I got through it. But if I had known my human design and I had known that how to make it easier, God damn, I would have made it easier. I would have made it way easier. I wouldn't have struggled so much. It wouldn't have had to hurt quite so much. Not to say that there isn't going to be pain or discomfort. There will. There is, because there's things to let go of, which we're going to explore here in a couple of minutes. But let's make it simple. And these foundational pieces come back to these again and again when everything feels just a little too much and a little bit too overwhelming. Basics, the beauty of basics never goes away. Never. All right, basic. So, what's super important for all of us, no matter what your type is really paying attention to your cycles and rhythms, because we're not replacing the rules that you've learned so far with a new set of rules. Like, that's not the point of human design. Human design is meant to set you free. It's meant to help you understand yourself more deeply, to understand how your body is meant to operate more deeply. But there's such nuance within your chart Like I have a lot of projector energy in my chart. I have a lot of reflector energy in my chart. So I require like a lot of alone time. And I require, I notice that I'm a lot more sensitive to the moon cycles. And like these are things that I never felt before because I was so disconnected from who I was that I couldn't feel it. So it's really important to notice what is happening in your body when things are kind of a little bit rough and tumble and when things are really good for that matter. Like being really connected, your body connection is the most important thing to your well-being, to feeling good, is really being deeply connected to your body and how it's communicating with you. So really getting up close and personal with your cycles and rhythms is really important. Noticing what patterns are coming up when you're pushing, when your body is asking for rest. Noticing how your body is communicating when you decide to force instead of allowing yourself to flow. It's really just a witnessing at first to bring an awareness to what's happening. You'll get to learn so much about yourself and how you are designed to move and how things work better for you so you can create your own kind of consistency, your own rhythm. And so what I would invite you to ask yourself right now is, based on everything we've just talked about, are you feeling your signature the most, or are you feeling your not self the most? No, nothing means anything unless you decide it means anything. Don't make it mean anything about yourself. There was a time in my life when I was experiencing a lot more frustration than I was joy. So, or satisfaction. So there was very little about my life that felt satisfying at one point. So there's no shame in this. What energy are you feeling most often? Is the energy that you're feeling yours, or is it someone else's? And we're going to dig into this a little bit here in a minute. And really making sure that you have standards and practices to support you. And so, for example, manifestors, projectors, reflectors, because you are non-sacral beings, I'd really invite you to have some white space in your calendar. Like back-to-back events, meetings, stuff to be doing is not going to be good for you and your body. It's going to feel like way too much. So making sure that you have a lot of white space and that you are making quality time for you every single day, doing what you love just for the simple joy of it, is super important. And I will go so far as to say that that's just as important for generators and manifesting generators, because you're here for joy. You're literally built for it. But for manifestors, projectors, reflectors specifically, making sure that you have that quality time, that you're doing things that you love that really fill your cup, is super important for you and your well-being and feeling incredible right here, right now. For generators and mani-gens, movement is key. You are literally life force energy. But in order for you to feel your sacral response, in order for you to be able to respond at all, to follow your strategy, you need to be shaking up and waking up your sacral. It needs to be woken up every single day. So you need to be moving in ways that feel really fun. Like moving for the sake of moving, zero good. Like you're not going to get anything, because that's an obligation, not a joy. You need to find something that really feels joyful and fun and satisfying, and shake up that sacral so that you can actually find things to respond to, so you can magnetize the things that are meant for you. That's how you do it. That's how you shake up. You shake up that sacral. And for all of us, come back to your values again and again. I cannot overstate this enough. This is the most important part. Before you do anything else, get really clear on what you value, on what is important to you. And I want you to name it, to write it down, to keep it handy. Day after day, week after week, year after year, these don't change. Who you are doesn't change. Your values don't change. Your goals, what you're working towards, what you care about, those things change. But what you value as a person, that never changes, because you never change. It's what you want matters. Like, I cannot overstate it. How you want to feel matters. Every choice you make matters. And those small choices, they compound over time. And then it can either lead you down the path of energy, excitement, ease, or they can lead you down the path of stress, overwhelm, anxiety. So it's making sure the choices that you're making align with what you value. If this is all you take away from today, you will be ahead for certain. And if you've been in my world any amount of time, you've heard me talk about this. Like, this is where I started. And I will always come back to this because, again, the basics, they're gold. Like, these are foundational pieces to being well. So it's really asking yourself if the steps that you are taking really honor your values and who you are. Are they bringing you closer to where you want to be? Or are they contributing to your stress, your overwhelm, your pain? You had to be willing to take radical responsibility for your life, for your choices, and not from a place of shaming yourself or guilting or being a bully to yourself. That's not what I mean, but just taking responsibility for where you are, for the choices that you're making, and not playing the victim in your life. This is how you create long-lasting change, is by taking that responsibility, by living in accordance according to your values, by living in alignment with your type, your strategy. This is what changes your life. Your values and your design, they never change. Who you are never changes. What changes is your capacity to navigate your life, to navigate the challenges, to navigate your illness with a lot more ease. It's time to let go what was never yours, to stop doing things that you were never meant to do, to stop following someone else's plan. You're here to follow your own, to follow your own type, to follow your own strategy, to follow your own way of being. Who's here for it? Who's excited? All right, we have a little more to go, but I want to take a quick break and let's just move. Just move. Oh, it feels really good. It's just, oh my goodness. Oh, that's like a good stretch. I'm going to take a sip of my water. Do we have any questions so far? Anything that you're not clear on? Anything that you're like, nope, doesn't feel good? Tell me. I want to hear from you. Anything that's like, yes, tell me that too. All right, so we're going to move on to the root center, and we're just going to dabble in this a little bit today. But there was a really specific reason that I wanted to bring the root center into our conversation today. So grab your human design chart if you don't have it, and tell me, is your root defined or undefined? And so if it's defined, it's colored in on your chart. If it's undefined, it's not colored in. And the reason why this matters is because this is the center where stress and pressure live. They literally live in the root center. Oh, and so the root center, probably should say, for those of you who are brand new to human design, is on the very bottom of your chart. It's a little block that's on the very bottom of your chart, and it branches it into these two sides. So it's the one at the very, very bottom. This is a center where stress and pressure lives. And so what I would like for you to ask yourself and to notice in your body is, are you forcing yourself to go in a certain direction right now? Are you hustling your way to success? Are you feeling the pressure to do more, to move faster, burning out again and again? I was the queen of this. I would get these moments of excitement, which I know now were my sacral. And so I would go, 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 go. And I would make this plan, which came from my head. The plan came from my head. I would make this plan and I would move with the sacral energy. And I would miss all the cues of my body that was saying, slow down, alert, alert. And it would start off with, I would feel a little bit sluggish. Then I would get a bad stomach. Then I would get a headache. Then I would have a flare of endometriosis. Then I would literally be on my back, not being able to move, back issues, foot issues, like you name it. I had it. Feeling really crappy because I missed all the cues going up because I was so in my head and so moving with the exciting energy that I didn't realize that my body was fighting in between. Like there was this, my body literally had to break down in order for me to pay any kind of attention. And that was that pattern that I lived for years, even after I got a lot healthier, because I was really, really sick for a lot of years. But when I got down the path of being healthier, I still felt this deep dissatisfaction, where I was like, I'm still not living my life. Like, I know I'm doing better, but I'm still not living my life. Like, I still don't feel like myself. And it was because I was ignoring the cues of my body. And it isn't just physical, it isn't just mental. You cannot pay just attention to the physical and mental cues or the emotional ones. That's not all that's happening. There's a whole body experience going on there. So if you find yourself in these cycles of force, of hustle, of feeling pressure, of burning out over and over, that's a disempowered root center. And so that I see this a lot with the women that I work with. And you can be disempowered here, whether you're defined or undefined. So whether it's colored in or it's not. And so the key is really to move with your energy. And so that's different whether you're defined or undefined. And I went back and forth on whether or not to include this today, because I really do want you to lead with your type, your strategy, your signature, your not self first. Nail those pieces first. But having an awareness of this, I think, is really important. And I do think an empowered root center, well, I don't think, I know, an empowered root center is a beautiful foundation, and it helps you stay in alignment when you understand that that pressure is actually disempowered. Then you're able to come back to an empowered version and just moving from one end of the spectrum to the other, because it's not like you're always going to be empowered. The cycles of life demands that you're sometimes going to be out of alignment, that you're sometimes going to play in a disempowered version of yourself. And that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means that's where you are right now. And so just knowing in your head, okay, this is just disempowered energy. And all I have to do is move over to the empowered side of things. It just makes life easier. It makes the experience easier. You don't have to attach yourself to what's happening. You get to just notice and witness and stop making everything mean something, because nothing means anything unless you decide it means something. So remembering that you get to choose your own path and you get to choose where you play is super important. And there's so much conditioning in this center based on how we were all raised and told how to be in the world. We've all sucked in so much of society's expectations of us about how the right way is to react, how the right way is to move, what you should be doing. And it's all just bullshit. You get to choose for yourself. You get to choose your path. So here's how to know if you are empowered in this center, whether you are defined or undefined. So we're going to start with the defined. So hope I'm being clear. Am I being clear? We'll see. I think I am. But I just want to make sure that this is landing for you and that it makes sense. I don't want to overload you with information, but I want to make sure that you have a good foundation and that you can walk away with something super tangible today. Although I think I've already sent you away with several tangible things, but regardless, I'm here for the rebellion. So let's take it just a little bit deeper and talk about this empowered root center. So if you are defined, how you know that you are aligned to your design. I don't know why I'm struggling with my words. I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm going to ground my energy, bring it into the root. I have a defined root. So this is, people often say that they find me soothing and they find that I can bring them out of their head and into their body, and that I can bring them back to earth and bring them back to what's important. And the reason I'm able to do that is because of my defined root. And so this, when it's defined, you are able to withstand pressure. When it's defined and empowered, okay? So the empowerment piece is really important here. You're able to withstand pressure. So the pressure doesn't feel as overwhelming when you have a defined root if you are empowered. You love to be taking action with a defined root. So, because this is also the center of timing and action. You have this internal pressure to achieve and succeed. So sometimes that pressure to achieve is empowered, but it's knowing, and you can feel the difference. You can feel the difference of I'm being led by my root and sacral as opposed to I'm being led by my head. It's a very different expression. And so it's like this pulse of action that can really kickstart you into momentum. And I have felt this numerous times, and it literally just comes through me. And it's like this push that comes up through the bottom of my, like from the bottom of my back all the way up through my sacral, up into my belly. It's like this wave of this push of move now. Now is the time. It knows when to move. So it's very connected to the right time. And it's very fidgety. So when you have a defined root center, you can be a very fidgety person. I'm super fidgety. You know, so I'm a hand talker. I do this a lot. I'm moving my hands a lot. That's my defined root. Like that is it. That's it coming out to play. That is an empowered response for me. And I was always a fidgeter. I was always like twirling my hair, twirling a pen. Even as a kid, like I was always moving around, like standing in one place for too long. Can't do that. Like I'm constantly moving because I have a defined root and I love to be taking action. So that is the defined center when it is empowered. And so it's just this knowing, this yes, now move, go. That is a beautiful expression of root energy. And also stillness is just as important. It's not just the action, it's also the now I need to be still right now. I know I don't have the energy to move. I need to be in this moment. I need to trust. I need to ground. I need to be right here and be in this cycle of rest and stillness. Super important. If you're undefined, you're very connected to the cycles and rhythms of life. And you can often feel this amplified stress to move. So knowing that and choosing not to move with that until your body is on board is super important. And so like this, you need to be super connected to not be overwhelmed by that amplified stress. This is so important for undefined root, is to move with your body and not respond to the stress or the pressure, right? You are here to ride the wave of other people around you. So you can, being in the presence of people with a defined root can be super fun for someone with an undefined root, because you can ride the waves of their energy and really selectively choosing the people that are helping you move forward is super important. You want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people. You don't respond super well to timelines, to deadlines. It feels like too much pressure. And you're not designed to be under pressure. So, because people with defined roots can often say, we like the pressure. We like that feeling of letting it build and then going. That works for us because we have a defined root. That is not good for an undefined root. That is going to burn you out. It's going to burn you out. So even though you feel the pressure, it's the key that you're not moving without. And so you don't want to force anything intense. And you're going to have a deep wisdom around connecting with your own cycle, with your own rhythm. Does that make sense? I'm hoping it makes sense. I'm wishing that I could respond to someone in the chat, but it's quiet here today. Okay. How are we feeling? This information doesn't really mean anything if we don't do something with it. So what I really would love is for you to take it and to play with it and to experiment with it and to notice what is most present for you. So pick one thing from today, just one, your signature, your type, your empowered root, and play with it. Notice what comes up for you when you start living according to your values and your design. What patterns keep showing up? What feels challenging? What feels fun? What feels easy? Where are you having success? Where are you stumbling? The awareness of your thoughts, of your energy, of the actions that you're taking is super important. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge or what you won't allow yourself to feel. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It'll sometimes feel like it's too much. So there has to be this devotion, this commitment to being yourself. You've operated your one way your entire life. So choosing to operate in alignment with the true you can bring up a lot of uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You might find yourself running away, shutting down, numbing out. Notice that too. The only way you're ever going to have any long-term success is if you trust yourself. You trust your own body. You trust your rhythm. And the way that you get to that trust is by playing, by experimenting, by getting up close and personal with you. No more beating yourself up. No more shame or guilt over doing things the wrong way. There's nothing to figure out. Your mind doesn't get to rule the show. Let your body lead. You are divinely designed. You're here for a very specific purpose. Your human design holds every answer to every question you've ever had about yourself. There has never been a better roadmap to your success. It literally meets you where you are. Get your brain on board by using your human design. It allows you to play within your body. And having someone to guide you in this is invaluable, like so invaluable. This is the work that we're doing inside the Embodied Energy Collective. We're keeping it fun. We're keeping it easy. We're keeping it simple. There are no calls. There's no homework. It's real life, real time support via WhatsApp, where you get to share what's present for you and get real life support to help you navigate whatever is happening with more energy, excitement, ease. You're going to finally find relief after years of trying to figure it out. No more monkey mind running the show. No more pressure to achieve, succeed. This is a community who gets you, who sees you, who understands how frustrating it can be to live with chronic pain and disease. These are women who are doing this work right alongside you. We're moving our bodies, doing more of what we love with who we love, connecting more deeply to who we are so you have confidence and clarity on the next best steps for you. It's true community, celebrating every step you take in the right direction, holding space for frustration, anger, missteps that come from creating a life you love. Real talk, real results. You want to come play? Membership is open. You can join anytime. The price is going up in 2026. I originally was going to put it up in January, but it has, my sacral is not on board. So until my sacral says it's time for the prices to rise, it will be $88 a month. And that is a fabulous deal for hands-on real-time support. And you get so many beautiful benefits from this. But really what I want to know is, do you want to do it alone? Or would you prefer to have support? It's up to you. Message me to grab all the juicy details. I would love to have you inside. All right, who has questions? Pop them into the comments. Send me a message privately. Facebook is probably the best way to reach me, but I'm also active on Instagram. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear how this landed. All the love and light from my heart to yours. Wishing you the most magnificent day. Bye.